Hi, I'm Pil Sung. You've clicked on the white belt syllabus. We're going to run through your current techniques, your hand technique, your leg techniques, and your current pattern. We'll save your other drills until we can get back into the dojang, which hopefully will be very, very soon. So the first thing we're going to do is get into a good right front stance, and we're going to do your current hand technique. So just check your stances, little bend in the knees, nice relaxed shoulders, guard nice and high, feet shoulder width apart. Pil Sung. We're ready to start. So you've got inward punch as your hand technique, and we're going to do it off the rear arm first, and then we're going to do it off the front arm. So the first thing we need to do when we do our inward punch is bring our feet and our hips facing forward. We're going to drive those hips to face forward, and as we do that, we're going to bring our front guard up towards our face. So we're going to break this down. So drive the hips and feet forwards, bring that front guard up towards our face. We're going to precede the punch with this hip. So this hip comes forward. We're going to leave our shoulder behind because this is going to create our power. Can you feel that stretch? That's where your power is coming from. And we're then going to punch, aiming towards the side of someone's jaw, drop the elbow, and then rotate back. We're never going to lock that elbow joint out. We're always going to keep our elbow nice and soft. And we're going to make sure we've got a really good fist as well. We're going to keep that thumb out of the way. So nice and tucked out the way, never inside our fist. And we actually want to be making contact with these two knuckles here. So let's give it a go. So we're going to drive the hips forward, bring the front guard up, proceed with this hip, keep the shoulder back, punch, nice and straight with that punch, but coming towards the side of someone's jaw, drop the elbow and rotate back. Think about your target, think about your height of your punches. You're punching someone a similar height to you. Imagine someone stood in front of you, your target, and you're going to hit them on the side of the jaw. Okay, so let's try 10 on each side. So, to my count. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Tas. Yes. Ilgo. Yoro. Up. Ya. And shimbi. Excellent, well done you. Let's move over to the other side. So left front stance, we're going to try it on this side again. So we're going to drive the hips forward, bring that front guard up to our face, proceed with this hip this time, keep the shoulder back, we're going to strike, drop the elbow and rotate back into guard. So let's give it a go. To my count. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Tassa. Yassa. Hugo. Yoro. Aha. Ya. And shimbe. We've broken this punch down. We want to make it as fluid as possible once you've got the technique right. And then we can speed that technique up because the speed of the technique is where our power is coming from. With our inward punch, if we take a nice deep breath in as we're preparing for the punch, and then breathe out as we do the punch, we'll keep ourselves much more relaxed because if we hold our breath or if we breathe in as we punch, then we're not getting as much oxygen to our muscles and we won't be as relaxed. A nice relaxed punch at speed will create much more power than a really, really tense punch. Pil Sung everyone. Okay, we're going to try that punch off the front. So again, right front stance. Let's get ourselves in a really good stance. Nice bend in the knees. Relax the shoulders. Guards up. This time again, we're going to drive those hips forward. So hips and feet facing forward. We're going to proceed with this hip, keeping everything forward, but we're just going to push this hip out, draw this shoulder back, because we need to create a little bit more distance, because the punch off the front hasn't got as far to travel, so we're going to create a little bit more distance before we punch. We don't want to make the mistake of ending up punching and coming back down, because we're losing all our power, we're losing our forward motion. So as we punch, we want to stay forward, keeping our hips and our feet facing forward until we finish that punch. So drive it forward, hip precedes the punch, bring the shoulder back, punch, drop the elbow, and then come back into guard. I forgot to show you with the rear inward punch, but I'm going to show you now that as you drive those hips forward, we want to be coming up into the ball of that rear foot. Like this. Peel something exactly the same for the rear inward punch. If I show you from the side again, so if I do it on the rear side, peel some. Excellent. Okay, so let's try 10 of the front arm. Peel some. To my count. Hannah. Do. Set. Legs. Tas. Yes. Heel. Euro. Yeah. And shimbi. Let's try it off the other side. So exactly the same. We're going to drive the hips forward, so feet and hips facing forward. We're going to proceed with this hip the same side as your punch. You're going to draw the shoulder back, punch, drop the elbow, and then rotate back into guard. So drive the hips, proceed with this hip, keeping everything forward, draw the shoulder back. We're going to punch, drop the elbow, keeping forward until we've dropped that elbow, and then come back into guard and into stance. So let's try 10 on this side. Hannah. Do. Set. Net. Tassa. Yes. Heel. Euro. Yeah. And shimbi. That's the hand techniques done. We're going to move on to our current leg techniques. Peel some. Great. Let's move on to our leg technique. You've got front kick, you've got it off your front leg, and you've got it off the rear leg. So we're going to start with our front leg. So get in a really, really good right front stance. Feet shoulder width apart, nice and relaxed, guards up. First thing we're going to do is bring the hips and the feet facing forward. And we're going to bring our weight back onto that rear leg as we draw our front foot up into chamber position. So we're going to bring the knee up high, just like as if we were doing a knee strike, and we're going to draw the foot back. We're going to kick out and kick at belt height with this kick, and we're going to make contact with the ball of our foot. We're going to lift our toes out the way, re-chamber, and then step back down into where we started in our stance, in our good right front stance. So let's have a look at that again. Hips and feet going to turn forwards. We're going to draw that front leg up, bring the weight back on that rear leg, bring the foot back. We're going to kick, re-chamber, and step back down. You might have noticed as I kicked, I came up onto the ball of this rear leg here, onto what we call the plantar flexor. This is going to give us more forward motion. If I show you from the side, you'll be able to see a little bit better. So, hips and feet come forward. We're going to draw that front leg up into change position. As we do that, we're going to come up onto the plantar flexor and then kick and step back down into our original stance. So let's try 10 on this side and 10 on the left side. Just give it a go. Hannah. Do. Set. Net. Tassa. Yes. Heel. Yeah. And shimbi. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Let's try another 10 on the other side. Try and keep those guards nice and steady. Nice and relaxed but strong. And keep those guards there. The last thing we want to do is, as we're kicking, is bring our guards up into the air, which is really common when you see people on the shield or focus mitts. So try and keep those guards relaxed, but keep them there, because they're going to balance you, they're going to help your kick. So same on this side, hips and feet come forwards, draw that front leg up into chamber position, bring the foot back, weight comes onto this leg, kick, rechamber, and step back down. Trying to come up onto the ball of that rear leg as we do it. Let's do 10 on this side to my count. Hannah. Do. Set. Net. Tassa. Yes. Heel. Up. Yeah. And shimbi. Okay, let's try it off the rear leg. So get yourselves in a really good stance. So let's do a right front stance again. So feet shoulder width apart, little bend in the knees, guards up. This time we're going to end up in the opposite stance with this kick. So the first thing we're going to do is drive the hips forward, the hips and feet. We're going to switch our guard, which means we're going to draw our front arm up towards our face, bring our rear guard forward. So drive the hips and switch our guard. We're going to keep the weight on this front leg as we chamber up. We're going to draw this rear leg back and up. So the knee comes up, the foot gets drawn back. So watch that again. So hips and feet come forwards, switch our guard, draw the leg up into chamber position. We're going to kick, we're going to rechamber, and we're going to step down into the opposite stance. So you can see now why I've switched my guard. I'm in a really good left front stance. That rechamber is really important. So let me show you again. Drive the hips forward, switch the guard, draw the leg up, kick, rechamber, and step down. It's a really good opposite stance. If we don't rechamber and we do the kick, we'll end up in a crazily wide stance and we won't be able to do anything. We've lost all the movement in our hips, we've lost stability, we're not in a good stance, we're not got good balance. That's why we rechamber. So rechamber and we step down and we're in a really good position to continue with our choi and get our hip movement in and our core stability. So let's move back So right front stance, hips and feet forward, switch your guard, draw that rear leg up into chain position, and as we kick, we're going to come up onto the ball of the foot of that planted foot, re-chamber, and then step down. So let's give it a go. Let's do 10 on each side. So with this kick, just like the front kick, ideally belt height with this kick. Obviously some people's flexibility might not allow that, but I know those of you who are really flexible, you might be able to kick higher than that, but there's no need. Belt height is absolutely adequate for this kick. If you start going higher than belt height with this kick, you'll end up making contact with your heel rather than the ball of the foot. Just like off the front leg, I showed you the foot position. We want to lift the toes out of the way and be kicking with the ball of our foot. So let's give it a go. 10 on each side. Hana. Do. Set. Let. Tas. Yes. Ew. Yoro. And yeah. And Shimbi. Excellent, well done guys. Trying to keep those guards nice and steady when you're doing this kick. When you see people doing front kicks on the pad or on the shield, sometimes you find that your arms may have a tendency to fly up as you're doing a kick. We don't want that, we want to keep those guards nice and steady because then you're ready when you step back down, and also your guard is what's going to give you your balance. So let's try 10 on the other side. So same on this side, drive those hips and feet forward, switch your guard, draw that rear leg up for a chamber position, kick, re-chamber and step back down. It's the opposite stance, drive the hips forward, switch the guard, draw that leg up into chamber position. As you do, come up onto the ball of that rear foot, just as you're doing the kick, re-chamber and then step down. So let's do 10 on this side. Hana. Do. Set. Let. Tassa. Yasa. Heel. Yoro. Yeah. And Shimbi. Thank you, Cosmo, for your contribution to that with your growling noises. Okay. Oh, and he's decided to come into shot. Pil-san, Cosmo. Okay, next thing we're going to do is go on to your current patterns. Pil-san. Okay, let's move on to your current pattern. So, you've got two techniques in your pattern. A pattern is a combination. It's a series of moves in order. It can also be described as a counter-attack combination. By that I mean we start with a defensive manoeuvre, i.e. a block, and then we come back with an offensive technique, an attack, a counter-attack. We defend ourselves first, and then we come back with a counter-attack. So, your current pattern at white belt, we face the front, I've got the flags behind me because I'm staring at the camera, but in the dojo we'd be facing the flags. As you go up the belts, as you get your next belt, white senior, you'll start to add a turn to these patterns. You'll start to do it in 4 dimensions, but at the moment we're just doing it to the front. So the first thing we're going to do is get into ready position. So our feet next to each other, shoulder width apart, not a stance. This is Shin-bi, our ready position. And the first thing we're going to do, because we always step back into stance when our first technique is a defensive technique, we're going to step back into right front stance as we bring our guards up. We're going to do an outward block, so don't forget to shift. Bring the head back, rear guard up, shift those hips to the side. That front guard's going to come up and rotate round for an outward block. Then we're going to bring that front guard up to the face and drive the hips forwards and come through with a rear inward punch. Okay, let's do that again. So, from Shin-bi position, we're going to step back, outwards block, rear inward punch, and come back to Shin-bi. When we step back to Shin-bi from right front stance, we always step forward back into Shin-bi. And now we're going to switch into left front stance. Outwards block, rear inward punch, step back forward into Shin-bi. We're going to keep doing it. Right front stance, left front stance, keep switching alternately left to right, until you're told to stop. We're also going to add a key up. You key up on the first technique and the last technique. You've only got 2 techniques, so you're going to key up on both. Let me demonstrate. So, Shin-bi. Hey! 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 Start slowly. Hey! Get the technique there, get the correct movement. Hey! 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 And Shin-bi. That is your current pattern. That's the white belt pattern. Practice, practice, and we'll see you in our Zoom sessions, and I'll be able to take a look at how you're doing. Well done, everybody, and peel some.